Great to be here back in Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore. This is the festive period within Pakistan, and I've got my very special friend Arooj Mumtaz, who's always here with me. Arooj, great to have you back. But because we're talking about Arooj, we've also got some friends all the way from New Zealand who are going to be teaching us a few new things. I've got Kyle Mills who joins us. Kyle, what have you got for us on the table for today?
Well, it's nice to be here, and tonight we're going to do a traditional war dance. It's part of the New Zealand culture, the Māori culture, and our famous rugby team, the All Blacks, do this before they play an international game of sport.
Okay, and how does it go?
So you're going to come along with me?
I will try because I'm not too sure about this, Arooj, but we'll try and copy you.
Let's try this. Come on.
Come on!
Come on!
He! Ringe paki up! Wai takari o keki o ne hoki. Keki o ne hoki. E kamete kore kore. Kamete kore ko. E tenete tanete. Ure nana ititi mawaka fiterera. A hupane no hupane kopane fititera. He!
Wow. I've got to give an applause for this because this was spectacular. I've never seen something like this. Well, I've seen it on videos, but to see it live, Arooj, what a performance.
That was energetic, mesmerizing. It was brilliant, and what a welcome.
Yes, what a welcome it was, and this is what we're talking about. We're talking about energy. We're talking about this festive period within Pakistan, and it's New Zealand taking on Pakistan, which we're looking forward to in this series. It's going to be a cracker.
A heart-stopping final test match.
What a dramatic end to a fabulous test match.
A closely fought ODI series. New Zealand's previous tour to Pakistan few months ago provided plenty of excitement. And they are back once again.
Hi, I'm Tom Latham. It's great to be back in Pakistan. Expect yet another thriller.
For the home team, the big boys return to action after being rested during the Afghanistan series.
We are coming at you with the speed of light.
All eyes are also on the youngsters.
It's time for me to make it count.
In the season of festivities, it's time for cricket to light up our world.
Hello and welcome from Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore. We are back here for the Bank Alfala presents Dafa News Pakistan versus New Zealand T20 series. Welcome to the Inverex Solar Energy Pit Side Show. It's always good to be back in Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore. Pakistan versus New Zealand. Pakistan coming at the back of the series loss against Afghanistan. Whereas if you look at New Zealand, they had a fantastic series against Sri Lanka. They won against them, and now it is both these sides up against each other. But before I continue to talk about these two teams in particular, let me introduce my guests with me. I've got with me Arooj Mumtaz and all the way from New Zealand, Grant Elliott, who joins us once again. G, great to have you back. I'm sure you're excited to be back in Pakistan.
It's awesome to be back. I love coming here. When I arrived at the airport, I had my friend who I met on the plane, Wasif. He helped me all the way to getting to the taxi. So it was a great entrance. Love coming here, love cricket, love the passion of the people. But what I do think is I think you need to improve on your haka. So before the end of the series, I want to see you with Kyle Mills again doing the haka properly.
Yeah, I think we were terrible, Arooj. We were absolutely terrible. But what we are hoping for that is not going to be terrible is the cricket. Pakistan would like to imagine that series against Afghanistan was a mere aberration.
Well, I think there's a lot of things that can be said about the Afghanistan series. I think we can wrap it up quite nicely by saying it was a lot of inexperienced players given an opportunity. Some made use of it and some didn't, but on record books it does say that Afghanistan beat us, and for the first time. What this series holds is the full strength Pakistan squad. First time we're hosting New Zealand in a T20 series on Pakistan soil, and the skipper also gets his 100th T20 game. So I think plenty to look forward to in terms of Pakistan, especially them being full strength.
All right, this is not just the T20 series that we have that we're looking forward to. It's also the ODI series that's lined up for you against New Zealand. This is what it's looking like. The tour starts today with the first T20 in Lahore. We move to Pindi afterwards. And then we play the ODI series, the first two ODIs in Pindi, and then we play the last three one-day internationals in Karachi. All right, talking about New Zealand then, Jay, I mean, what's the one thing that we can look forward to? They've obviously won against Sri Lanka, lost against India. I mean, how do you evaluate this particular side?
Yeah, I think it's a new side. It's a fresh side. New Zealand are missing 9 players to IPL. Unfortunately, Kane Williamson, we know about his injuries, and you can see there Tom Latham. So it'll be interesting to see where Tom Latham bats. I think he will start. He'll be opening. So you know, there's been talk about him at 3, but Will Young, I think, will come in at 3. You can see Dane Cleaver. I don't suspect he'll play today, but there's some exciting players. And you look towards Adam Milne, Ish Sodhi. There's still the wicket-taking ability there with Matt Henry. Cole McConkey, exciting player. Be interesting to see how he plays. And Jimmy Neesham, he brings a lot of power and experience. Normally Jimmy Neesham's one of those guys that's kind of in and out of the team. But today, you'll see him come in, and he's an experienced player, missing out on 9 top-line players for New Zealand. So great opportunity for these young players who wouldn't have had an opportunity to play here at Gaddafi Stadium and do the business.
Arooj, what about the Pakistan squad then? I mean, a bit of an experiment with all the young players against that series with Afghanistan, but now it seems to have a bit more balance, would you say?
I think there is balance for sure, but it's also a problem in the sense that our top 6 batters are essentially openers. You have to look at the strike rates as well. Where does Haris fit in? Where does Saim fit in? Fakhr is there. I don't think Shan will probably play, but then Babar and Rizwan come in for sure. Now, what the opening 4 will look like, I think that's Pakistan can tweak around with it, whether they replace the experience of Babar and Rizwan up front, whether they put somebody like a Haris or Saim to open with, I don't know. But they've got a very strong middle order as well in terms of Fahim, Imad, Shadab himself, Nawaz in there. And look at the fast bowling express line we have. Ehsanullah with his pace, Haris Rauf, Zaman Khan, Shaheen Shah Afridi, all in there, right? So I think Pakistan looks very, very solid.
That's not a bad headache to have, Arooj. But just on the squad, we're talking about Babar Azam. And just how consistent it's been. Also a personal milestone for him today. It's his 100th T20 international that he's playing. A special moment for him indeed.
I think it's a special moment when you don on the jacket and put on the cap with the star on it. To represent your country in the first place is an honor next to none. Then to lead your side, and then to lead your side into your own personal 100th T20. Only the 3rd Pakistani male cricketer to do so, just behind Shoaib Malik and Mohammad Hafiz. There it is. And to do it on his home ground, I think it is going to be next level. Good wishes to him that he gets some runs under his belt as long as with a win to Pakistan, but it is a feat which is quite extraordinary.
Jay, I'm sure you've seen a lot about Fab 4, Fab 5 around the world. There's a lot of talk around them. Kane Williamson is definitely somebody who features in that list, but Babar has also been making a lot of noise. I mean, how do you rate him?
Oh, I mean, he is playing in his 100th game, and I expect him to get 100 today. He's that good. But I think the sign of a really good player, and you talk about that Fab 4, Fab 5, is a player that can play in all 3 formats. So these players, not only are they good in T20s, they can adapt their games to Test cricket and one-day cricket, and they just manipulate their games to suit the pace of either T20 or white ball cricket compared to Test cricket. And I mean, the class of Babar Azam, the shots that he plays, but I think that's the nicest thing for me. I like watching a player who's easy on the eye, He's just, every time he plays a cover drive or back foot drive, it just looks so good, the timing, and effortless, and the ball just races to the boundary. So I'm hoping he gets runs today, but I'm also hoping New Zealand win. Is that all right?
I think that's only fair, considering you are from New Zealand, isn't it? Anyway, Arooj Mumtaz was talking about the pace battery that Pakistan possesses. It's not a bad headache to have when you have so many options available to you. And one of the guys who's done really well in the recent past is Zaman Khan. He's known to be a death over specialist. He's also featuring in our Star Talk today.
Star Talk, brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
मेरा जो गांव है चकसारी मीरपुर वहाँ से मैंने टेप बॉल से क्रिकेट स्टार्ट किया। वहाँ हमारा छोटा सा गाँव है, तो वहाँ पे फिर मीरपुर गया, वहाँ पे ट्रायल दिए, अंडर 16 के सिलेक्ट हुआ। इसी तरह 3 साल नॉर्दर्न से खेला हूँ, नेशनल T20 लाहौर कलंदर की तरफ से खेला, परफॉर्म करता गया और पाकिस्तान के लिए नाम है। शाहीन भाई थोड़े बॉलर माने जाते हैं, तो उनसे मैंने बहुत कुछ सीखा है, एक्सपीरियंस है उनके पास, वो हमारे साथ शेयर भी करते हैं। तो इसी तरह मैंने सोचा यार इन सीनियर प्लेयर से जितना भी सीख सकता हूँ, और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह उन्होंने काफ़ी सपोर्ट भी किया। काफ़ी क्रिकेट भी खेला, 2 PSL हो गए, अभी अफगानिस्तान के साथ सीरीज़ थी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, वो भी काफ़ी अच्छी रही। प्रेशर पहले 1-2 मैचों में होता है, वो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हो गया। ये बड़ी सीरीज़ है इंशाल्लाह न्यूजीलैंड के साथ, जितना भी अच्छा करेंगे इंशाल्लाह टीम के लिए पूरी एफर्ट करेंगे इंशाल्लाह। लाइफ काफ़ी मुश्किल थी, क्योंकि आपके पास क्रिकेट ना हो, आपको क्रिकेट ना मिले, क्योंकि शुरू से बहुत मुश्किल होता था आपको मैनेज करना, खाना पीना, इसी तरह का। तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह जब से PSL खेला हूँ उसके बाद मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आई। मसलन अगर जिम करता हूँ उसके लिए मेरी डाइट होनी चाहिए इस तरह का प्रैक्टिस में, तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह काफ़ी अच्छी होगी। शुरू से हम देखते थे शाहिद भाई, शोएब अख्तर, इस तरह के मसलन देखते होते थे छोटे होके, तो बड़े शौक़ रखते थे यार कि इतने बड़े क्रिकेटर हैं। तो हमारे माइंड में नहीं होता था कि यार हम इस लेवल पे खेलेंगे। तो इसी तरह जब मैं अंडर 19 ओवर एज हुआ तो कभी कभी मलिंगा को देख लेता था, उनके एक्शन को। यार मैं सोचता था यार इनका एक्शन मेरी तरह है, तो इनकी भी वीडियो देखूं और इनसे भी कुछ सीखूं कि यार यहाँ मेरी क्या गलती है और क्या कुछ सीख सकता हूँ इनसे। ड्रीम काफ़ी विकेटें हासिल कर चुका हूँ। नाम तो बाबर भाई थे PSL में, नहीं आउट कर सका, तो इंशाल्लाह वो तो किंग है, तो किंग को आउट करने का एक और ही मज़ा।
Star Talk, brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
He sure is one of the talents that have come through for Pakistan. Uruj, I mean, you've got bowlers who can bowl really well with the new ball. You've got Shaheen Shah Afridi, but Zaman Khan is considered that death over specialist, that over that he bowled for Lahore Qalandars. Just a quick reminder on that. I mean, how do you see his career shaping up?
And I think not just once, he's bowled those death overs where he's had to save 6, 8, 12 a couple of times. What I love about him is the fact that how quickly he's taken to the occasion and he's not overwhelmed by it. It's very easy to sort of get overwhelmed by the occasion and fall apart. What he does, who he does look up to is also Shaheen Shah Afridi, who at a very young age, he claims has taken him under his wings. He's that slingy sort of a bowler and he nails those yorkers in. But I love the fact that he doesn't get overwhelmed and actually looks for the challenge, puts his hand up and says, give me the ball, I'll do the job.
The attitude. You're talking about the attitude as well. You like that kind of attitude, don't you, G?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think you guys have nailed it. It's an attitude thing. You have to want to do the job. It's a tough job to do. We've seen bowlers time and time again that go into those death overs, they try and deliver yorkers because you have to be perfect now. Because of the power of batters, you have to make sure that it is so precise. And luckily, he's got that slingy action. He's got that action which actually helps bowl yorkers. So he's going to have to do it under a lot of pressure though, international pressure. So done it at the PSL level, but he's got the goods.
All right, he's got that action, he's got that attitude as well, and there's plenty to look forward to in that regard. With the kind of Pakistan bowling resources that they have, we're ready with the toss. It's over to Sikandar Bakht.
Toss and pitch report brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
Thank you, Zainab, and welcome to this all-important toss. First game of the 5 T20s between Pakistan and New Zealand. I've got our match referee alongside me, Mr. Ali Naqvi. Thanks for joining us. Got Babar Azam, the captain of Pakistan. Tom Latham alongside us, the captain of New Zealand. Who's got the coin? Babar has the coin?
Heads.
And heads is the call.
And that's tails.
And it's tails. Babar, you won the toss. Firstly, what are you going to do?
We will bat first because pitch looked like good, so we will try to run on the board and put pressure on them.
Not so long ago, this pitch has played some high-scoring games over here. You had 240 and then 200 was scored after that. So you're looking at what kind of score in this particular surface and you feel is safe?
I think in the PSL we are seeing a lot of runs on this pitch, and we are also in today, so 180, 190 in this pitch.
You got a good fair mix of youngsters and of course some senior members in the side. A little tough to select that best 11. You come back after a break, so how's everything looking now?
Yeah, we have a couple of days off, and then we have a quality 3-day camp in here, and now we are ready to for this series. And yes, we have a couple of young players. They inspire very well and in the PSL, and we have a senior and junior mix-up team. So Shaheen, Haris and Zaman Khan playing, Sam Yu is playing.
Yeah, okay. 100 is a big number, and for you to have that in T20s, it's a great achievement. How do you look at those 100 games and satisfied where you stand today?
Alhamdulillah, good to reaching our 100 T20s, and especially thanks PCB, my teammates and my family and fans. They are supporting me a lot, and yeah, I'm very happy.
Well, great, good to have you back as captain, and good luck for the game.
Thank you.
Let's have a word with Tom Latham. Tom, would you have done the same? Just step forward a little bit. Yeah, thank you. Would you have batted as well?
Yeah, we're going to have a bat first. I guess the scores probably traditionally say batting first is the thing to do here. But you know, whatever you do first, you got to do well. And you know, we've obviously got a chance with the ball, and hopefully we can put some pressure on Pakistan.
Got a young side, of course, and a win against Sri Lanka on the back of it. Got some momentum on your side.
Yeah, we played some really good cricket back home. You know, we were put under pressure at times, but you know, we managed to overcome that. And with some guys, you know, that haven't necessarily played as much cricket, you know, as probably our full strength team. So you know, it's nice when guys are exposed to you know, that sort of pressure and they get that opportunity. And you know, we've got another opportunity here in some conditions that, you know, we're not that familiar with. You know, we haven't toured here a lot in the past. You know, we were here a couple of months ago, so hopefully we can fall back on those learnings.
First of the 5 games over here, is it more of a gut feeling, or is more looking at the surface you decide what you need to do?
Yeah, I think it's, you probably look at the stats of games beforehand and what teams have done here. Obviously the PSL has just been played here recently, and it obviously looks like the thing to do. But as I said, yeah, it's 40 overs, you got to do, you know, whatever bat or ball, you got to do that well regardless. So, you know, we're looking forward to the opportunity.
Well, good luck to you.
Cheers, thank you.
All right. So, as we know, Pakistan have won the toss. They've decided to bat first. And let's ask Bazid if Babar has made the right call.
Well, the most recent cricket that has been played here at Gaddafi Stadium has been the HBL PSL, and on those tracks, the ball really came onto the bat and runs were scored. Batting first was the way to go. And you look at the pitch today, and it seems as if that trend should continue. It's a very good pitch. Looking at it, it's got a layer of grass on it, which just keeps it together and also makes sure that the ball comes onto the bat a bit better. Sometimes when there's not a lot of grass on it, it sticks in the pitch, the ball doesn't come on. But otherwise, you look closely, and it's very hard as well. So I reckon if you bend your back, you bowl back of a length, there'll be something in it for you. But you want to be into the pitch more or less. You don't want to go too full because the ball will come onto the bat. But all in all, it looks like a terrific T20 pitch.
Toss and Pitch Report brought to you by Inverex Solar Energy.
Batting first is the decision that Pakistan has made. Grant, Babar opting to bat first. We've seen that in T20s, the preferred option for a lot of teams is actually bowling first. They prefer to chase just to have a total in front of them. But what do you think of his decision in this particular game?
I don't think it matters. I think exactly what Tom Latham said, whatever you do, you've got to do it well, you know. And I think when I look at the Pakistan team, I think they've got a fantastic bowling attack. I think they've got an outstanding bowling attack. They bring pace. We spoke about the pace. I think that will be tough for the New Zealand batters. So I just think that, you know, whatever decision they've made, they do it well. And the stats actually show that there's been 18 games here. 9 games have been won by the team batting batting first and 9 games have been won by the team batting second. So nothing really points towards what you should be doing. It's more on the day. There's grass on that wicket. So I think it'll play well. I think it'll be a high-scoring game.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts, Grant and Rooj. We're going to be taking a short breather. When we do come back, we'll be having a closer look at the teams, and we'll also be joined by a new set of guests. Well, the news from the centre is that Pakistan has won the toss and they have decided to bat first. I've now been joined by new guests with me. It's Kyle Mills, all the way from New Zealand, was teaching us some haka dance. I'm pretty sure that I was quite bad at it, but you were amazing, Kyle.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that. It's a very traditional war chant from New Zealand, from the native people, the Māoris, and our very famous rugby team, the All Blacks, perform that each time they play.
All right, well, it's great to have you here. Next to you is, of course, the usual suspects, Baz Khan. Baz, great to have you back as well. Looking forward to this one?
Yeah, absolutely. New Zealand and Pakistan, normally a very good series that you get. I tell you one thing, Kyle he toned it down. He toned down the haka. He didn't give it that one and all that.
I could have taken the shirt off and everyone would have ran away.
That's a good start.
All right, the haka dance will continue, I'm sure, but Pakistan has won the toss, like we said. Let's have a look at their squad. They're playing 11 at this point of time. Baz, a couple of, obviously, selection headache in terms of the kind of fast bowlers that Pakistan has at their disposal. And you've got Zaman Khan, who's playing today instead of Naseem Shah. There are a couple of other guys who are making a comeback. Fahim Ashraf as well. He's also part of the team. He wasn't, remember, playing in that previous T20 side. How do you look at the balance of the side overall?
Well, I tell you what, the 3 fast bowlers that Pakistan has preferred are all Lahore Qalandars, the champion side. Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris Rauf and Zaman Khan. Now, Zaman Khan will obviously bowl at the death. Ihsanullah would have been very close as well. But even if you look at that middle order in terms of spin options, you've got Iftikhar as the off spinner, Shadab as the leg spinner, and Imad Wasim as the left arm spinner. Nawaz hasn't been played, I think, because Imad Wasim is playing and they preferred Iftikhar as the off spinning option. But it looks a fantastic side. They're all in form.
They're all in form. What about New Zealand then? Tim Seifert is not playing. He was in great form in that series against Sri Lanka, but he's obviously not playing in this one. But overall, what do you make of this lineup?
Yeah, Tim Seifert's going to be a big loss. Comeback series against Sri Lanka and he performed superbly. Chad Bowles, very good performer in domestic cricket in New Zealand, very inexperienced international player, but I can tell you something, he's a very good player. He just needs to get a score on the board. 8 to 9 players, I think, over in the IPL from the New Zealand setup. So some will say a depleted New Zealand team, but I tell you, look through that team sheet just there. There's a lot of New Zealand players who have played a lot of international cricket. You look at Isodi, Daryl Mitchell is very good. Tom Latham, the skipper's played a lot of cricket, so they'll hold their own.
Who should Pakistan watch out for? You know, if there's anyone in particular that you feel is going to suit these conditions?
I think Daryl Mitchell has been a quality performer for New Zealand over the past 2 years across all formats. His biggest quality is that he's a fighter and he loves competing. He loves being in the battle, and he'll bring that here tonight as well. Tom Latham will lead from the front, and I'm really looking forward to watching this young bowler, left-arm bowler, Ben Lister, play. He's played a couple of games at home, performed really well on the domestic scene, swings the ball at a nice pace. So a big challenge for him being over here in these conditions, but hopefully he will step up.
Right, we're talking about the series being in a very festive season. Eid is only away by a few days. We're talking about the reactions amongst the fans as well. It's time for some gup-shup with the fans. All right, well, here we are, and I asked some of the fans about their excitement levels regarding the much-awaited Pakistan versus New Zealand series starting from tonight on the grounds of Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore. So come on, let's go have some gup-shop. क्रिकेट क्रेजी नेशन है, तो ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट है रमज़ान क्रिकेट का, और वो भी रात को अफ्तारी के बाद मैचेस हो रहे हैं, तो ये आपको कैसा लगा?
जी अफ्तारी के बाद तो मैचेस का अपना ही मज़ा होता है, अपना ही इंजॉय होता है क्योंकि मौसम भी अच्छा होगा रात को, क्योंकि इस टाइम तो अभी एकदम ही लाहौर का जो मौसम है एकदम दोपहर को जो गर्मी पड़ती है ना, अफ्तारी के बाद तो अपना इंजॉय होगा।
अच्छा, आप मुझे बताएं कि बाबर की खूबसूरत कवर ड्राइव आपको पसंद है या फिर शाहीन की फास्ट पेस बॉलिंग अटैक?
दोनों की।
अगर आपने एक चूज करना हो तो किसको करेंगे?
बाबर आजम की।
अच्छा, जो बाबर और रिजवान है, उनकी जो ओपनिंग बैटिंग पार्टनरशिप है वो पूरी दुनिया में जानी पहचानी जाती है। तो पीएसएल में हमने उनको सेपरेट टीम्स में देखा और अब आप देखेंगे कि वो वापस एक साथ आके खेल रहे हैं, तो इसके बारे में आपको कैसा फील हो रहा है?
जी, वो तो हमारे दोनों शेर हैं पाकिस्तान के, और वो काफ़ी सालों बाद हमें ये ऐसी ओपनिंग मिली है जैसे सईद अनवर वो आमिर सोहेल की हुआ करती थी, इस तरह की ओपनिंग मिली है हमें। इंशाल्लाह ये हमारे शेर हैं और ये टीम के साथ बहुत अच्छी सपोर्ट करते हैं और हम इसके फेवरेट, हमारे प्लेयर भी वही हैं, तो इंशाल्लाह वो अच्छे प्लेयर्स हैं।
खेलते हो क्रिकेट?
जी।
क्या करते हो, बैटिंग के बॉलिंग?
बैटिंग।
और सबसे फेवरेट प्लेयर कौन सा है?
शाहीन अफरीदी।
मैं बताओ कि सबसे फेवरेट प्लेयर कौन सा है पाकिस्तान की टीम में से, जिसकी तरह खेलना चाहते हो, बनना चाहते हो उसकी तरह?
शाहीन अफरीदी।
वो आपका रोल मॉडल है?
रोल मॉडल है, वो बहुत अच्छा खेलता है, पाकिस्तान को जिताता है वो।
तो आप क्रिकेट में क्या करते हो, बैटिंग की बॉलिंग?
बॉलिंग भी बैटिंग भी।
ऑलराउंडर हो?
और
वेरी नाइस। चलो, थैंक यू सो मच कि आपने हमारे साथ बात की और आपको बेस्ट ऑफ लक आपकी क्रिकेट करियर के लिए।
Well, lots of Babar Azam fans. As always, Babar Azam is back as well. Baz, he was taking a bit of rest in that series against Afghanistan. It's also a personal milestone for him because he's playing his 100th T20. The opening is pretty much the same. Lots of debate around it. Who's going to open? They had a few options, but they've stuck to Rizwan and Babar.
Yeah, you look at their record, there's always a debate on their strike rate, but in the previous couple of years, they've improved on that, and they're so good once they start batting well together. They almost take the game away. The only problem everybody sort of looks at is strike rates when they're batting first, but I think they're aware of that, and they've made improvements in that. And once they get going, once they go through that power play, they can actually now go through their gears as well. So I don't see it as a problem. The problem will be that the few other openers that are in the squad, they'll be batting out of position.
Any particular areas where you feel New Zealand needs to work on? Any particular aspect that you think is lacking in the side that you've seen so far?
Well, I think it's, as I just touched on before, it's the conditions, which I think is going to be the biggest challenge for this New Zealand team. Coming from New Zealand in the last month or so, they've been playing on fast, bouncy wickets, suddenly jump on a plane, one training session into the conditions out here, which are going to be vastly different to what they've experienced back home. So that adjustment is going to be a big challenge for them.
All right, adjustment is going to be key for New Zealand in these particular conditions. The crowd is building up nicely now. Most people have opened their iftar and now will be coming in huge numbers to support the Pakistan side. It should be a fascinating contest between Pakistan and New Zealand. They've won the toss and they have decided to bat first. And we'll be taking a short break. When we do come back, we'll be showing you all the live pictures, so don't go anywhere.